in it. They got 2 guys on that roster, I think 3 guys, that were all hanging with everything Jerry says. Even Skip, ooh, it's gonna be a beautiful day, even though it's pouring outside, or Jerry's gloom and doom, and sunshine and 75 degrees, and Jerry says it's bad, and so the Cowboys fans hang on everything Jerry says. Skip, but he's paid some guys that have not even come close to living up to expectations.
Agree.
I want to go to the defensive side.
Yep.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence hadn't lived up to the highest paid player in Cowboys history.
Yep.
Jalen Smith?
Nope.
Skip, he's not playing like that guy that played last year.
Agreed.
Nobody, secondary, Byron Jones, those guys that were flying around making plays, Skip, I don't see that. That offensive line, Skip, they hit and miss.
Hit and miss.
They got 3 guys that's going to All-Pro, and maybe a couple of them going to probably be Hall of Famers. But Skip, night in and game out, I don't see the consistency. The one thing that you can say about that offensive line in the 90s, boy, they brought them lunch pails every week.
Yep.
If you beat that team, Skip, you know you had your work. You did a heck of a job.
Wow.
You did a heck of a job because, boy, Nate Newton and Stepnowski and Tournay and those Big Easy, Gogan, Skip, they were moving folks. This team here, man, I'm looking at them, and I told you, Skip, they're front runners. When things start going good, man, they move people out the way. And I said if the Eagles could just get this game to the 4th quarter, Skip, and keep that pressure on them, and sure enough, everything worked out to a draw. So I'm gonna give, and people are like, well, you're not gonna say anything about Jason? No. Because last week there were 2 key players. Sean Lee and Dak Prescott said this was as good a pep talk as Jason Garrett has ever said. And everybody said it didn't mean nothing. They won in spite of him. So you win in spite of a guy, but you lose because of that very said guy. Nah, Jerry Jones owned this one.
Well said. I pretty much agree with everything you just said, because it's hard for any football team, especially the 2019 Dallas Cowboys, to overcome owner/GM Jerry Jones. That's hard to overcome. His post-game press conferences are more entertaining than they are during the game. They're more watchable. And it was breaking news last night that Jerry spoke for only 2 minutes and 3 seconds. The media timed it, 2:03. And he walked away, and they chased him all the way up the tunnel toward the buses. They chased him.
And remember, the plane broke down, Skip, so they had to sit on the bus. They were delayed.
11 o'clock, they were delayed, which was kind of the fitting.
I mean, you Stewart. I mean, you done called an L.
Yeah.
And everybody on pins and needles, nobody's talking, Skip, because you know when you lose, it's all quiet. You've been on those buses. You know when you lose, everybody afraid to talk. So you just got to sit there.
Well, back in the days that I was covering the teams that you talked about back in the 90s, they might smuggle on a little
special?
little this and that. And
is that allowed after a loss?
I don't know. I don't know if it's allowed or not, but for their sake, I hope they did last night. It was probably gone quickly. Whatever it was, well, they sat on the runway waiting to take off. But I blame Jerry Jones the most for keeping Jason Garrett afloat. And again, I'm not being 20/20 hindsight. I'm not being a hypocrite. I called for this man's job after his 2nd full season, which was 2012.
Okay.
He had gone 8-8 for a 2nd straight year. First full season was 2011. Remember, he finished 5-3 in place of Wade Phillips down the stretch. But his first full year, 2011, what happened? They were 7-4 entering December, and they lost 4 of their last 5, including a division-deciding game.
Right.
That one was to the Giants. 2012, they were 8-6 with 2 games left. They lost both, including a division-deciding game. And I said, enough is enough. I know Jason. I covered Jason. He's too vanilla. He has no motivational charisma to him. He creates 0 fear factor in the football team, the way Mike Shanahan did with you guys, because you were afraid of him.
Absolutely.
You knew he would send your tail home.
Absolutely.
He would cut it loose.
Yes.
Jimmy Johnson would cut you. If he didn't like the way you responded to him or to a situation, a football game, you'd just be gone.
Yeah.
And they all knew it.
Yep.
Not Jason Garrett, because everybody knows he's just Jerry's puppet.
Right.
So there's no fear of failure. There's no, oh my God, if I fumble, if I screw up, if I jump off sides, if I line up in the neutral zone, he's liable to cut my you-know-what, right?
Yep.
But you don't have that now. So what did we have to watch this year? This team was favored in every game except the New England game. Think about that. They were favored in every game, and these are the games they lost in order as favorites: at Saints, Packers, at Jets, Vikings, at Patriots, Bills on Thanksgiving, at Bears, and then yesterday at Eagles. They lost every one of those games except the Patriots, in which they were favored. And in most of those games, they came out, to my eyes, flat and lifeless. They came out without fire, without emotion. You could just see it in the Eagles yesterday. They were ready to play from the opening, just the first snap. You could just see it. And Doug Peterson talked about it after the game, and he said, in every one of our meetings, all of our leaders stepped up, Fletcher Cox and all, you can go right down the line. Yeah, all of them, Jenkins. They stepped up and said, this is personal with that team. Well, did my team look like it was personal yesterday? Right. No, it was just another walk in the park to my team.
But you said something very interesting. You said, you mentioned Mike Shanahan, my former coach at Denver, and Jimmy Johnson, Bill Parcells. Has Jerry ever empowered Jason to be able to have that kind of control?
Probably not. I mean, Jason could have tried to assume that kind of control, but it's like when I just unleashed on Zeke and Amari for waving out a game. Sometimes it's up to the head coach to say no, just say no. But he doesn't seem to have any power. Right. You just tell him no, get back in there. You're okay.
Here's the thing: it's kind of like a parenting situation. If one parent says no, you can't do it, and the child goes to the other parent and the parent says yes, you can do it, and the child does it. He just script whomever the parent that gave the okay after one parent said no has just taken the lion's share of the power away from one of the parents. So that's what Jerry has done to Jason Garrett. Because the players know, Skip, no matter what Jason tells them, I can go to Jerry, and Jerry will probably more than likely veto what you told me. So why am I going to listen to you?
Okay, I got it. Correct. Now, what 2 games did my team come out with fire in its eyes? The October 27th night home game against the Eagles. Why was that? Because Dougie P, as I call him, Dougie Prediction, he virtually guaranteed a victory at Jerry World. That's all they needed, because it needs to be external motivation, because it's not going to come from Jason Garrett. Then what happened before the Rams game, which was their other game that they came out ready to play? The whole week they got shamed in the locker room because the point spread was plunging because they had been so dreadful at Chicago. Remember, the point spread opened at Cowboys by 3.5, and it plunged all the way down to Rams by 2 at Jerry World, and they had to hear this all week. And they had to hear that they had an NFL game high 19 missed tackles at Chicago. They needed external shame to finally say, oh, okay, watch this. And then last week, they had no shame. They were the favorite. It fell a little bit because of Dak's injury, but they went in as the favorite, and they played like the fat cat favorite.
Skip, but also, now you got to look at your quarterback, because this year, can you tell me the game that he won that he wasn't supposed to win?
I agree with you, because he led the whole NFL in game-winning drives over his first 3 years, and he was not able to make the play at the moments. He made a whole lot of plays, but not the play to win the game to get them over the hump. But now we get back to Ezekiel Elliott, and we went through the whole camp holdout, and we talked about it day after day after day on this show, and you said, pay the man, right? And they gave him $90 million, $50 million guaranteed dollars. I have not seen him run as hard as he used to. It's just my eye test is telling me he has not run with the authority and the fury he used to, except against the Rams. I saw it against the Rams. I did not see it out of the box yesterday. He looked more like he was running in Cabo sand. Sometimes Jerry Jones overpays for all these guys, DeMarcus Lawrence, offensive line, Ezekiel Elliott, and he doesn't get nearly the bang for his buck that he deserves committing this much cap money to these players.
But Skip, I mean, a quarterback, your quarterback is what you said. He can't have 9 points against the pass. He can't have 10 against the Saints. He can't have 9 points yesterday. That's unacceptable.
Okay, well, it's unacceptable for the running back 5 of the last, what are we up to? 6 of the last 7 games to be under 100 yards.
Whoa, hold on. Just last week, Jenny, somebody told me the guy that you called Shannon, you called Mike Pollard, gave you some pop. Now you don't want him in the game. He just went for 100. Now you don't want him in the game.
I want him shockingly in the game when he's not expecting it, when they're on a roll because of number 21, and suddenly it's cold in Philly, and you say, go in for Zeke.
Yeah,
what?
What you mean
I'm
cold?
going in?
Whoa.
Because all the plays against the Rams, you knew they were coming. They had prepped for it. That was all in the strategy.
So guess what? Guess what's gonna happen today? He gonna go up to. He expecting a check. Jenny, you think he expected a check today? So he gonna take it. He maybe got direct deposit, but I used to go upstairs.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So he ain't expecting a check, but he ain't expecting to get in the game. Skip Bayless. No, he had 100 yards. This is my thunder and lightning. Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard.
So Zeke fell to 4th this year in rushing so far, which is, it's not 50 million guaranteed worth of production. And guess what? On first downs this year, he's fallen to 20th among all qualified running backs on first down yards per touch.
Okay.
Yards per touch. 20th.
Let me ask you a question.
It's hard to win that way. It's hard for the quarterback to win that
How much you think Christian McCaffrey's gonna get? Because he's about to go 1,000 and 1,000. He's already at 105 with 105, 107 catches. What do you think he's going to get?
Didn't help Carolina much.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. But he's going to get...
No.
Can you imagine? I mean, he's putting up those numbers with those quarterbacks. Oh, what do you think Chubb's going to get? Chubb's about to get paid. Derrick Henry's about to get paid. Skip, you're going to have to
I'll
pay.
bet some of those teams might just say no because they're seeing what happened to Zeke and what's happening to Todd Gurley. Just not there. It's not enough.
Gurley
Not enough.
contract doesn't really.
Well, your quarterback. And look at those teams' quarterbacks.
My quarterback makes like $400,000.
But he's not about to make 400,000. He's about to make 20 times 400,000.
Trying to get that done all
you
year.
keep telling me you got to pay that man.
You gotta
but
pay him.
Now you're telling me don't pay that.
Pay him. No, you got to pay him. Skip, Dak was in a situation, Skip, he couldn't lose. He knows if he finished the season healthy, he's going to get bare minimum $30 million. Dak says, "Why? If I will get bare minimum $30 million, I might as well reach for the stars and try to get 36 to 40. He's going to get the. Jared's going to have to pay him, Skip. There's no other way around it, and you know it.
I think he's lost some leverage.
Well, Dak is also saying that sprained right shoulder, not to blame.
Not to blame. That's what he said, Skip.
He did
Not
say
to blame.
It was no good not practicing.